day 42. We were cycling along twisting mountain roads through the heart of Snowdonia. "6 weeks on the road and we'd just passed a major milestone. We'd cycled over 1,000 kilometres. It had been a slow start, with puncture after puncture on the ancient tyres on Jill's bike before she replaced them, and quite a few more days off than we should have had, as our bodies adjusted to the relentless physical exertion. But we'd made it all the way to the north of Wales, and were cycling through what had just yesterday been designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the slate mining landscape of northwest Wales, which they say roofed the 19th century world. In the last video, we'd stopped to recover after a brutal climb in Dolgellau, after our first taste of cycling in the mountains. And now we were pressing on further north.
This was literally just after Jill said, "Wow, the roads are so well paved here." Might have spoken a little bit too soon.
We tried as much as we could to avoid main roads.
I wasn't very happy about going on the A road today. I've been in a bit of a grump. I will return to my grumpy persona in about 200 meters when we get back on this main road, but for now I will appreciate the views. All right, here we go. Let me get back into character. This really sucks. Super busy, lots of traffic.
So we traded smoother and quicker roads with a lot of traffic for obscure trails that we followed into the mountains, with only a vague idea of where we'd end up. We cycled through quaint Welsh villages, which led us onto country lanes, which turned into overgrown paths. Before we finally made our way to an old campervan in the middle of the woods. Well, after one last hurdle.
Last climb of the day up to our host's place. It's gonna be fun, Jill. Come on. Oh, that is so steep. 20%, here we go. Maybe it just means 20% for this very first bit. Woo! Hello! I'm gonna have to walk it though in a second. Oh my god. Oh my god. Of course we had to, I've tried to say this so many times but I'm so out of breath. Of course we had to end the day on a 20% gradient ascent. Our hosts live up this hill. I don't know if I'll be able to start on here. There's the gardener technique.
Good Lord. Ah. Just packing up our stuff in the morning, getting ready to leave. This has been our home for a night. The next morning we had tea with the owners of our cosy shelter, Lizzie and Harissa. A short walk from the campervan, they'd built their own home, using almost nothing but waste materials. Everything from mud to old milk cartons, cans and glass bottles.
The bottle on its side is actually very strong because it's round, so it's very hard. If you stand on a bottle, you can't really crush it. A can is, a fragile circle, but as soon as you build them into a regulated pattern, then you've created a honeycomb type structure that is a very natural way of engineering, like the bees do. There's a lot of embodied carbon in building materials. If you can build with what's around you, it's creating a low carbon world.
They packed a bag of fresh herbs and duck eggs from their garden to give to us, and we said our goodbyes.
Thank you guys for having us. It was really nice to meet you. Thank you so much. We've got so many herbs now.
Oh, yeah. Whoa. We stopped off at Portmeirion, a bizarre collection of buildings built to look like an Italian village on the Welsh coast, where I had the worst sandwich I've ever had, but the buildings were pretty cool. Before we continued through the mountains. We crossed over to Anglesey, just in time for my birthday at another host's house. My number one birthday request: to not cycle a single metre and spend the day on a sofa watching movies. Today I'll be doing absolutely zero cycling and staying here at a house in Anglesey and watching some films all day, not a bike in sight. That's how I've chosen to spend my birthday with Jill. But before we continued along the north coast, Jill's younger brother James was coming to meet us. He wanted to try his hand at cycle touring. Jill and James making their way up a pretty nasty hill. Both of them got cute matching panniers. Look at those. One question, guys, what made you both decide to go for colour yellow? I know James just wanted to be a bit like Jill. I think that was what it was.
I'm just a bit of a style icon.
Yeah. How are you finding the hills, James? That's our last big one. That's the only big hill. We'd had more or less non-stop glorious weather for a month,
clear blue skies and barely a drop of rain. So, of course, when we awoke in our tents for our very first day of cycling with James,
well, as you can tell from the camera screen, just a little bit rainy today.
It was the windiest night we've ever had last night. It's raining pretty torrentially now. This is actually the wettest weekend we've had so far. So in terms of timing, pretty poor.
The forecast here is ridiculous. All the days it said it's going to pour with rain, it hasn't. And the one day it says it's going to be nice and sunny and clear, it's like this.
it wasn't a total disaster though. On James's final day in Wales, the skies cleared and the wind died. We were able to swing by some of Anglesey's highlights.
This is the village or town with the longest name in the UK. And here's the local supermarket. Add like 2 extra aisles just to be able to fit this on the front of it.
Llanfair Pwll Gwyngyll Gogerach Wendrobwyll Llantysilio Gogogoch.
It was given this name in the 1800s as a publicity stunt to attract more tourists. And since I'm talking about it now, it clearly worked. 19 seconds. That's how long it took to walk along there.
Safe travels!
After 3 days, we'd managed to put James off cycle touring for life, and he got a train back home.
Bye, James!
Before we pedalled along the north coast. After 7 weeks getting to know the rolling Welsh landscape and the people that live here, this would be our last full day of cycling in Wales.
So it turns out that Wales has more castles per square mile than any other country in Europe. And you can really see that when you're cycling through it, because it's like every single town that you pass through has a castle or the ruins of a castle in it. It's really, really cool to see. And they're so well preserved. This one's amazing.
That's where we've come from, down there. Oh my god, this is so grim. Just a road of poo. Jill's got it all over her legs.
And all over my rag.
Oh no.
I can wash it after. No, don't know. It's really bad.
That's not that bad.
It's smearing.
England!
We finished Wales!
We've cycled around. There's the Welcome to England sign. We are 1,000 and something kilometres into the journey, and we are back in northern England, or at least we will be when we go past this sign. Well done, Jill.
One country down, 4 more to go. Wales was behind us. We crossed back into England and inched towards one of Britain's most iconic cities. Liverpool was next.